Hey folks, Sev here, and today I'm going to read Chapter 3 of the Economy of Wisdom, The Void. Chapter 3, The Void. There comes a moment when you realize that everything you believed about success, fulfillment, and your place in the world was built on sand. For me, that moment didn't come as a dramatic epiphany. It came in a quiet aftermath of a system that had discarded me, despite my proven track record of results. At first, you try to rationalize it. Maybe if I had played the political game better. Maybe if I had been more visible to the right people. Maybe if I had compromised more, spoken up less, fit in better. The mind scrambles to maintain the illusion that the system makes sense, that there is still a clear path forward if you just figure out the right moves. But then comes the void. The void is what happens when you stop running, not just on the hedonic treadmill of constant achievement, but on a social identity treadmill too. When you step off this carousel of titles, affiliations, and group identities that we use to piece together some sense of self worth, it's terrifying because for the first time you're forced to confront who you are without all these external markers of validation. I used to think my identity was something solid. I'm a tech director. I'm an overachiever. I'm someone who delivers results. These weren't just roles, they were like armor I wore to feel safe in the world. But in the void, I saw how these identities were just sophisticated ways of running away from myself. I'm going to be brutally honest here. This phase sucks. Your brain, conditioned by years of corporate life, keeps trying to fill the void with plans, strategies, next moves. But the void isn't a problem to be solved, it's a state to be experienced. The void is necessary, it's where transformation begins. Here's what the void taught me. First, your social identities are not your friend. We think they protect us, being the corporate achiever, the technical expert, the successful professional. But these identities are handcuffs. They keep us trapped in cycles of seeking validations from the very systems that drain our authentic power and keep us from fulfillment. Your ego is that voice that keeps telling you to prove yourself, to show them they were wrong, to build something bigger and better just to stick it to those who doubted you. It's seductive because it feels like motivation, like drive, but it's just fear wearing a mask of ambition. I had to recognize that my entire identity had been built around being the tech director, the one who delivers results, the one who empowers people. Letting go of that identity felt like dying. In a way, it was. Second, your needs are three-dimensional. We focus obsessively on material wants, the salary, the title, the status symbols, but we starve our emotional needs for genuine connection and authentic expression. We neglect our intellectual needs for creativity and meaningful contribution. This imbalance creates a void that no promotion or achievement can fill. In my striving for material success, I had created emotional poverty. All that time optimizing systems had left no space for real human connection. All that strategic thinking had crowded out genuine creativity. Third, and this is a real kicker, you discover something bizarre in the world. You are already complete. Not the you that needs to achieve something, prove something, become something. The you that exists right now watching this video. This completeness isn't something you achieve, it's something you uncover by removing everything that isn't authentically you. As I began to unravel my own conditioning, I saw how my fears and behaviors were not unique to me. They were patterns replicated throughout organizations, passed down through corporate cultures, reinforced by societal structures. My personal healing became inseparable from understanding systemic dysfunction. This realization doesn't come cheap. It cost me my comfortable illusions, my safe career path, my neat and tidy plans for the future. But it gave me something invaluable that no one can take away, the understanding that my worth isn't tied to any role, title, or group identity. You see, we try to fulfill ourselves through these identities: the professional identity, the social identity, the national identity. Each one promises some form of belonging or validation, but they're all substitutes for the real thing. They're all ways of running from the fundamental truth that you are already enough. Let me be clear: facing the void doesn't mean giving up on ambition or impact. Quite the opposite. But it means your drive comes from a completely different place. Instead of being pushed by fear or pulled by external validation, you move from a place of wholeness, guided by what genuinely matters to you. For me, this meant reimagining what leadership could look like, not as a position of power over others, but as a way of being that empowers everyone around you, not as a role you play, but as an authentic expression of who you are. I began to see that my experience in tech, my understanding of systems, my ability to see patterns, these weren't tools for climbing the corporate ladder anymore. They were gifts I could use to help create something new, something that could help others break free from the unfulfillment machine, something that could help people to discover their authentic truths. The void shows you who you are when everything else is stripped away. And here's the paradox: only when you're okay with that person, just as they are, can you begin to create meaningful change in the world. This is where the real work begins. Not the work of achieving or becoming, but the work of remembering who you actually are beneath all the conditioning and social identities. The work of learning to trust your own inner wisdom above the chorus of voices telling you who you should be. Because you are already complete. Not the you that needs to achieve something, prove something, become something. The you that exists right now watching this video. This completeness isn't something you achieve, it's something you uncover by removing everything that isn't authentically you. Remember, the void isn't empty. It's full of possibilities you couldn't see when you were too busy running on the treadmills of achievement and identity. But to access these possibilities, you first have to be brave enough to stop running and face who you really are. The question isn't whether you're good enough. You are. The question is, are you ready to drop the masks and live from that truth? Thank you, folks.